Tag and bienvenidos, listeners, and welcome to Uber Cinco, the podcast game show where we deep dive top fives. Take your life vests, fire starters, sunscreen, and leave them at home, kids, because we're talking fun desert island items today. I'm Brian Ernst, your host for today's festivities, and in the den is Mitch Brinkman versus Nathan Hennenfent. Today, our contestants will reveal and defend their top 5 desert island items for a comfortable castaway. Now, as host, I've gotten to sneak peek at both your lists, and I noticed, Mitch, you are definitely lacking anything in the SPF category, and Nathan, no bandanas, and I don't know how comfortable of a castaway this is going to be for each of you. Oh God,
that was such a huge oversight. At this point, I take them for granted because they're pretty much permanently sewn onto my head.
I kind of figured that of course clothes were just gonna be there. So, but just imagine me in head to toe plaid, baby. Turtleneck all the way down. It's like it's Christmas morning on my island. So
this is like if you got on a shipwreck and then you just kind of floated on a perfect little flotation device that happened to be there from Poolorama, which is those are now closed, or the Great Escape is whatever they're called. That floated you to this island where you found a perfect glamping settlement, and you're like, hey, man, there's a little store right here. I can just pick up all the little items I need, and I'm gonna go to my section of the island, and then I'm gonna enjoy this little castaway staycation. So it's going to be an interesting one to hear today.
Also, we're not seeing, this is on our lonesomes, right? Like we're out here by ourselves.
Correct. You are not on the same island.
Okay, good.
There happen to be two glamping islands within 7 nautical miles of each other of this accident, and you guys are clearly able to.
If I knew where Nathan's camp was, I would definitely have brought brown paper bags and dog poop and a lighter, and I would prank him every night. I would, the old smelly ding dong ditch. How you doing? Bye bye.
And as a reminder, don't forget to stick with us until the end of the show, where I, Brian Ernst, will give you my Fast 5 send-off, where I'll rattle off the definitive list of the top 5 failed Taco Bell menu items. And a quick message for our returning listeners: we love pleasing your ear holes and are always looking for more to fill. So please consider dropping us a review wherever you download fine podcasts, and be sure to share with your friends. And if you have a topic or Fast 5 you are dying for us to cover, head on over to bizbear.biz. That's bizbear.biz to submit your suggestion. We may even battle it out in an upcoming episode. Again, that is bizbear.biz. And for you newbies, let us wake you out of hibernation with a quick rundown of the rules.
Each player in the den has spent time with today's topic arranging their top 5 answers in order of importance. Those answers have been submitted to the host, who will moderate the game, awarding points to the player with the most poignant answer.
Starting with their number 5 choice, we'll move up the ranks until we reach each of their top answers. But if both contestants happen to have the same answer on their list, well, we have an Uber stare-down.
You will hear the official Uber Cinco siren, and both players must reveal their answer and what number they ranked their submission. An Uber stare-down is all or nothing, with one player earning 3 points. After all answers have been read, the host will reveal the final score. And as host, I'm entitled to institute a house rule for today's game, and I have to say I was deeply inspired, Nathan, by your card of mystery last week, and disappointed that it wasn't able to be used. So this week I am introducing the 3 Post-its of mystery.
Oh, okay.
Each has a name on it that, if said, I will deduct 1 point from your ending total.
Ooh.
However,
oh my gosh,
if both of you say said name, I will be giving you both 1 point. So it's a wash.
Interesting.
So if any of these names are said, you'll either lose 1 point. If you both say it, you will gain a point.
All right, I've got an idea of what one of them is. I'm going to write this down just so I can steer clear of it.
All right.
Yeah. I'm also going to make notes, but just on my brain. So,
And that's what you should do. Mm-hmm. So, without further ado, I think, Mitch, you should kick us off with your number 5.
Yes. Hello. I just want to say hello. Welcome back, listeners. Thank you so much for coming back one more time. Again, if you're loving it, tell your friends. And if you don't tell us, right? We're just like a 3-star Michelin restaurant here. Let us know where we can do better. But also, we're doing it pretty damn good, so just enjoy. All right, my number 5. On my deserted island must-have list here is the NutriBullet Pro. First off, Nathan, Brian, do you know what this is? Have you used one of these? Have you seen one of these?
I have seen the infomercial, yes.
Great.
I remember stumbling into an ex-girlfriend's dresser drawer once and am I on the right track here?
Oh!
Same RPMs, wrong drawer.
Oh, okay.
I would say it's auxiliary use could be that, absolutely. But this is a delightful cup to base blender system. I have one myself. And this, I'm going to require the 9-piece set. So it's got the coffee mug handle you can screw on there, the sports shaker bottle top for when I want to take my smoothies on my volcanic hikes or my morning forages for fruits and plump little piggies that I'm finding on this island. But what I love about this, though, is that on this island, I'm going to find so many fruits. So I can eat the fruits, of course. You get that good fiber. But some mornings you want to put it all together. So a little water, a little pineapple, a little mango, a little... on my island, there's going to be raspberries. I'm going to throw raspberries in there. There's going to be seaweed algae. That stuff is superfood. I'm tossing that in too. And that's going to be an incredible breakfast every morning when I literally roll out of my hut, down the sand and into the water. I'll be super energized by this natural energy. And then also at night when the sun goes down, it's great for blended drinks. It's great to when the sun's high and your temperature's rising to cool down with an iced daiquiri, an iced margarita, if you will. And that's where the NutriBullet really shines. And I know you guys are thinking this is the start of a long infomercial, but it's not this week. That's not what this is going to be. So, but I just do. If I could endorse it, I could, because I love it and I use it every day myself. So this is going to be great. It's going to be something you wouldn't find on a deserted island. So
you stumble out of this hut that you have either found perfectly intact or built yourself from scratch. You walk out onto the sandbar where you have your kitchen island that you've built out of bamboo and or whatever you have.
With power. Yep.
Yeah, there's a perfect 120 to 240 volt outlet there, depending on where your island is stranded.
Yep.
And you're able to plug in this NutriBullet, forage, and make the best either drink or smoothie to start your day.
It's going to be incredible. Also, within the fridge that's in the hut, the freezer, I'm going to freeze bananas. I'm going to do like a chocolate coffee smoothie some mornings too. Maybe like almost like it's an ice cream. It's so thick. But this is really this is a blend and go situation. You can blend it, take off the base right into the water, relaxing, floating with the waves, enjoying a daiquiri. So.
And that's going to be nice, too, especially after 6 years on the island, your teeth rot. You're not going to be able to chew solid food anymore. You can just blend this shit right together, float on down the old throat gullet, and stay alive.
You know what? I'm so ready to live in the moment on this island. I wasn't thinking 6 years ahead, but you are damn right. That is so true. So.
I mean, so this is a longevity pick.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm down with it. So that gets me curious of moving on to Nathan. What is your number 5?
Well, mine's a bit different because I'm being a little bit optimistic and I'm playing the long game in terms of thinking that I will be rescued and that this isn't something that I necessarily need on the island. I'm thinking this is something for some self-improvement. So then when I come back, I'm a better and stronger and more intellectually stimulating man than before.
You're not going to say God, are you? You're not going to find God. Please don't say that.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna say one of the men of this earth who has been touched by God in an artistic sense, and get ready for the most pretentious answer I've ever given on the show.
Oh my God!
I'm saying the complete works of William Shakespeare. And now this is not something I'm going to use within 6 months, or 12 months. Or 18 months, or probably within even 2 or 3 years, because I have the complete works of William Shakespeare in my apartment, and I love Shakespeare, but the only time it came off the shelf in like the last 2 years was yesterday, because I bought a new bookshelf and I moved it from the old bookshelf to the new bookshelf. So like this is something like today, like I'm distracted by my smartphone and by the TV and by the Netflix and the Amazon Prime and whatever. And so on the island, like, you know, it's going to be sitting there and be like, oh, finally, I've got all the time in the world to peruse the greatest works of the English language. This is the moment, you know. Mm-hmm. But then I'm going to start building a sandcastle or climbing a tree or invent a game where I make like paper airplanes out of palm leaves or something. And so, but eventually time will go on and I'll have nothing else to do. And finally, I'll sit down and I will read through the complete works of Shakespeare. And then I'll be one of those guys when I get picked up. And they'll say to me like, oh, God, this must have been so terrible on this island. And I'll say, be not afeard. The isle is full of noises, sounds, and sweet airs that give delight and hurt not. Which is from The Tempest, obviously, which I will know at that point. And they'll say, you know, like, well, I mean, God, how did you come up with that? And I'll say, me, poor man, my library was dukedom large enough. And from that point on, I'll have this encyclopedic knowledge of the bard's work. And I'll, you know, finally, after I've studied Shakespeare in college and I went to England and took a Shakespeare course. Nothing took, but at long last, it will finally have worked out, and I will be able to at least pretend at parties that I'm a smart guy.
I think this is the moment when the helicopter pilot feigns like a volcanic upshoot and a gas, and he claims he had to bank left very fast. He dumps you back out on the sand and just says, "Never found him."
Sort of like
couldn't
like
see where he was.
There's a James Bond movie where James Bond does that to Blofeld and dumps him down the nuclear engine. I can definitely see that, me getting in the helicopter and all of a sudden just speaking in iambic pentameter, and then they're like, forget it, and then just down in the volcano I go.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how much iambic pentameter was beaten into my head. I think it was either freshman or sophomore year of high school. We had what my English teacher called a beat off. And she knew.
Oh, good.
She knew.
Yes.
She knew our freshman and sophomore brains would just love that.
Is she in jail now?
No,
yeah, I was going to say
keep it on.
My English teacher had the beat off as well, and they were just released 6 months ago.
But it's still in my head. Good morrow, cousin. 'Tis the day so young, but noon struck 9. Me said hours seem long. That will be in here till the day I die. It will not leave. So I understand wanting to have Shakespeare's life's work with you, but yeah, I got a feeling though you're gonna rip up some of that paper, either roll up some island herb or use it as some fire starter or wipe your ass with it before those 2 or 3 years get to there. So I cannot give you the full 3 points. I will give you 2 points for the complete works of Shakespeare. And Mitch, because this is a longevity product, I'm gonna give you the full 3 points.
Yes.
Can't wait to see suckled down some soft foods many years down the road.
And also, you saying the word suckle reminds me, if I'm catching one of those pigs and there's like, you know, I create a suckling pig, you know, you roast it over a fire. There's some pig fat left over. Toss that in the blender, you know? I mean, there's so many things you can create on the fly in a blender, and it's great.
You got yourself a stew going.
Exactly. Also,
all right.
Point of order. How many works are there of Shakespeare?
I think there's 38 plays plus 120 some sonnets.
Okay, so Nathan's already done however many top 5 lists then, just with that. Are we just like throwing out isn't it like 300 items all on its own?
No, it's
I
one
got
book.
it. I got it in one book. I can produce it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's one book. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just a stickler. You know that. I'm a stickler and I love to win. So
you already won the round and you're trying to make yourself win again.
Oh man.
This is why we need to move. No, Nathan, you give me your number 4. Mitch, you take a break.
Oh,
all right.
Your number 4, Nathan.
Okay, so my number 4 again. I'm sort of thinking again about the long game of when I'm rescued and how I'm going to improve myself.
What is this? We are on an island. This is not about going back to society.
You've got to have when I'm on this island, the thing that's going to get me from day to day is the hope that I'm being rescued, or else I'll just crumble within to myself, collapse like a dying star.
What kind of sugar-coated lollipop up your ass optimism is this? I mean, come on. We are on an island here. This is to pass the time. I'm sorry.
If this was Lord of the Flies, we'd kill you first.
I'd kill you in your sleep.
I'm Piggy. I'm coming out on top. Or bottom, depending on how you look at it. Dead. He's dead.
I'm going with I'm going with my
Bowflex? The Bowflex? So I'm going to be sculpted when I go back to society. And sorry. Okay.
My Les Paul guitar in its hard shell case.
Protected from the sand. Good.
Part of this is I'm going to have nothing to do but practice. I love playing the guitar. It's gotten me through a lot of really tough times. It'll get me through the loneliness. I've been listening to obsessively a lot of my favorite artists for a long time. So the tunes will be in my head and I'll have no choice but to recreate them. And then when I finally get back, I'll be good enough that people will not cringe when I pick up a guitar at parties. And that's the dream. See, when I was 14, the dream was to be Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. And now the dream is, of course, for people to listen to me play for 30 seconds and politely applaud. So things have changed, but that's what I'm going for. I won't have an amp, so I'll have to sit on the edge of the volcano and get the acoustics just right. But I can while away the hours. Very fulfilling. It's gonna be beautiful for me. But here's the thing: in the hard shell case, I can only carry the guitar strap and a couple cases of strings, and the strings are gonna break eventually, and that's gonna be a problem. Hopefully when I'm on my last case, the low E string breaks and I'll have 5 strings, but I can switch over to the old Keith Richards guitar tuning, which will keep me occupied for another 10 to 12 years easily. 'Cause you know how much I love the Rolling Stones. But once I'm on that last set and I'm down to 4 strings, well, then I can just simply use the other 4 strings to strangle myself to death. So it's a 2 birds, 1 stone scenario. I know I went from optimism to extreme pessimism there, but I think this pick covers all bases. So that's my number 4.
I was thinking something completely different. The spare strings, I thought maybe you can make some fish hooks out of them and go fishing and do that. Nah, these I can't play anymore. I'm going to kill myself.
And this is why I encourage everyone to purchase products that are as high quality as something like a NutriBullet Pro. The thing just keeps on blending.
This is not happening. This is not happening.
Excuse me. Sorry.
I, as host, am putting my foot down. Oh, God. You know what, Nathan? I like guitar, too. I'm on your side. Mitch, what is your bullshit number 4?
Oh, hey, come on. Come on. All right, here we go. Number 4 is it's the book. The book that every person says they've read and they haven't, or it's there, it's staring at them and they know they should read it, or they should read it? I don't know. Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. I'm not going to read it necessarily. Like I'll intend to read it on the island. It'll probably mainly be like a pedestal I'll sip my smoothie on, on my bedside table or whatever. But just in case pirates wash ashore, they'll see that and they'll know, hey, this guy is an intellectual. This guy reads. This guy has layers to him. This guy understands what end notes are. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you. That's
a very prudent piece of material about this book.
Thank you. And this will remind me of the constant guilt that I've felt in the old world of never having read enough, and so this will provide me like a connection to home. I'd be like, oh, I'm feeling that same intellectual guilt I felt at home. I've never having read this book that's sitting there staring me in the face. And it'll forever be a reminder of what could be. And who knows? I mean, maybe I will read it. Maybe I'll get through it.
Can I jump in with a question? Do you have a copy of Infinite Jest in your apartment now? Do you own one?
I do. Yes.
See, I did have one, which I then read. I read 150 pages of.
Yep.
And then I actually gave it to my dad so he could read 150 pages of. and there it sits at the family home, the pastoral home, and neither of us have finished it. I've definitely watched like hours worth of David Foster Wallace interviews on YouTube, but I have not even come close to finishing the book.
I think maybe now that you say that, maybe it's the greatest human relay of all time. You read 150, pass it off, 150, pass it off, 150.
Sure.
And 3,300 people down the road, it's finally finished. But it's what is it? It's the entertainment that's like the book in the book. Whatever the fuck it is. So also in a pinch, It's very thick. I can use it to bash a cute little piggy over the head and pop him over the fire. So it's also an assault tool when it comes down to it, just in case.
It's also kind of like nice pillow size, actually.
It could be. Also, I'm assuming my shack has a pillow.
Fair enough.
I mean, or I mean, there are enough tree, palm fronds, pine boughs. On my island, there's all kinds of trees. That would be a wonderful pillow. But you are very right. You are very right.
Well, a step stool then. There we
go. Yes.
It's a hefty piece of material.
Mm-hmm.
So
also, I do want to throw out quickly that David Foster Wallace and the book Infinite Jest is the subject of the end of the tour, which is the greatest, and as far as I know, only movie set in Bloomington, Illinois, where my sister lives.
Yep.
So yeah, the end of the tour captures just how boring Illinois winters can be. Check it out.
Yep. Just like the people, the landscape just continues on flat and white. So.
So I'm gonna admit something to you boys. Hindsight is 2020.
Yep.
This probably should have been an Uber stare down between the complete works of Shakespeare and Infinite Jest.
That's okay. No
I
worries.
didn't know what Infinite Jest was. So I was waiting for you to explain it to me so I could make a rational decision of what this is. I have never heard those two words said side by side my entire life. I have heard of David Foster Wallace, obviously.
It gets even worse because Infinite Jest is actually from a Shakespeare quote. So
this is too much Inception that I can handle right now.
I will tell you this. Don't feel too bad because a couple weeks ago when we had our buddy Alex Levingood on the show and we had to do the Uber stare down, I was hosting about the 2 pairs of sunglasses in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I had to pretend that I have seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which I have not.
Whoa. So. That's intriguing to me. That's
yeah.
Wow.
So
we might have to Clockwork Orange your eyes and put that on the old VHS player.
It's not that I'm opposed. It's been one of those things where it's a movie that's been everybody's seen it so many times that nobody's ever asked me to watch it with them.
Okay,
they've already seen it 20 times.
Here's the perfect way to watch it. It's Sunday afternoon. You've just had a big lunch. You're a little groggy. But you have to do some writing. So as you're writing, just turn it on and just have it there. And then that's great. And then you got it.
All right. Nice. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. All right. Sorry. I veered us off course there. That was unintentional.
Right. I have to score our number 4s here. Nathan, you're playing into my heart and soul here. I love the old guitar, and knowing that you could transfer from Zeppelin down to Keith Richards and doing that and having just a nice Les Paul and a specifically hard shell case that would keep the sand out. I like that detail a lot. I'm going to give you the full 3 points. And for Mitch, I was going to give you the fair amount of points, which I thought was 2, but then you jumped in rudely early and told Nathan that the Bowflex was an inferior piece of equipment, which is absolutely not true. It's a great piece of equipment, so I'm deducting a point. You get 1 point for this round. You brought up infomercials with the NutriBullet, and then you're going to diss the Bowflex? Not on my show. Not today.
Brian, what's a better total body workout in half the time? Total Gym, done. Chuck Norris, number 1. Thank you very much. How dare you question my knowledge of QVC workout products? Don't do it. Let's go. Let's move.
I'm just making that comment in Infinite Jest.
Okay.
Can I have your number 3, please?
Oh, wow. Oh, baby's first throw up. Look at him, everyone. Oh.
I am just burying my embarrassing naivete by segueing into your number 3, Mitchell.
No. Actually, I was going to say, pretending like you know what Infinite Jest is when not knowing it is the most Infinite Jesty thing ever, I feel like. It's like, it all works.
There's 7 chapters in the book devoted to that from 7 different perspectives.
It's all bullshit. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't read those chapters, but I hear they're there.
Yes.
All right, Mitch, your number 3.
My number 3. Okay. This one is like... So also, I'm assuming that if I bring, let's say in this case, if I bring the best cup of cold brew coffee, that's going to replenish every day. I don't get 1 cup. It's I just always have that cold brew coffee, right? It's a magical island. So the item I'm bringing here which is going to pair perfectly with my number 5 and everything the island has to offer in terms of food and fruits, is Ray and Nephew brand overproof rum. Okay, I'm going to need something to make daiquiris, mojitos, Mai Tais, or whatever concoctions I discover and develop. Perhaps a little pig fat daiquiri. Who knows? Could be delicious. Pig fat and pineapple. Who knows? Look at that. I'm getting a little thirsty now thinking about it. It's 126 proof. You do the math. And 90% of Jamaica's rum sales is of this brand of rum. So it's tried, it's true, it's gotten medals for literally, I can't remember the name of the association, but they gave this rum like essentially the bang for the buck award. Like year in, year out, it provides good quality rum to its drinkers.
It's the Cutty Sark of Jamaica.
Exactly. And also very interesting that we mentioned Shakespeare here too. It was first distilled at the Shakespeare Tavern in Kingston back in the mid 19th century.
Wow.
Very cool, right? Okay, so this rum, it's a white rum too. So I'm mixing this obviously with any fruit I can get my hands on. I'm gonna wait till the sun starts on its descent to drink it. Obviously, it being 63% alcohol by volume, but these are gonna help those delicious sunsets feel even more deliciouser. As the tide laps my legs, I'm sitting in the wet sand. They're going to be beautiful nights. And even if alone, technically, I'll feel like I'll have a bunch of buddies with the stars looking down and my Ray and Nephew overproof rum in my left hand. So there it is.
What a pretty sunset photo.
Thank you.
That I could just imagine in my wits.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna diss drinking. I'm like, if I'm stuck on an island, I'm drinking till the pigs come home so I can get their fat.
Yeah, and I just want to say, this is about being on a deserted island. It's not about preparing to leave. It's about being on a deserted island. I just want to,
okay, you can't bash hope though. Hope is a big part about being on a deserted island.
But some could say, perhaps, David Foster Wallace committed suicide. He was not down with this bullshit world that put him in the constraints that it did. Being on an island, you don't have to do any of that. You just get to exist and be and enjoy. So,
well, my number 3 has to do with hope too. So, although before we move on, real quick, Mitch, you got 30 seconds on my watch.
Yeah.
Your island fruits, vegetables, and rum blended cocktail. Go.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Oh jeez. Okay. All right. I'm gonna find a sugar out of a tree maple. I'm gonna make that into a simple syrup. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be brown. It's gonna be syrupy. Pineapples first. Mangoes are going in. I'm gonna find some wild mint somewhere. I'm throwing that in as well. And also coconuts. I'm gonna find some coconuts. Get a little coconut water in there. Blend it up. With some ice that I find in the ice freezer. That's right there. That's going to be
6
delicious.
seconds.
Thank you. And call it the Brinks Bay. That's
the Brinks Bay.
Brinks Bay.
Yes.
That's adorable.
Thank you.
And hopefully, if you ever wash over to Nathan's Island, you'll share some of this nice cocktail that you've made.
Oh yeah.
All right, Nathan, let's give us some hope here. Number 3.
All right, again, this is a 2-pronged thing. This is on the one. This is something that's going to make me feel better every day, and also is going to make me look a little bit better when the eventual rescue comes. And this is my ensemble I will be wearing. This is my Hawaiian shirt, my Ray-Bans, my cargo shorts, and my Panama hat and my flip-flops. Now I know what you're thinking. This technically isn't one item, but I'm 6'3". I like to wear a nice baggy cargo shorts. I figure I can fit all the other items in the pockets of the cargo shorts, and then once I'm on the island, I can unload and reapply.
It's one outfit.
Yeah,
we'll give you that.
So
that's how you.
So like when I get out of bed in my normal life here in Chicago in the year 2020, I get really excited when I put on my Air Jordans. I got my first pair of Air Jordans on my 34th birthday. And it was about goddamn time because Michael Jordan left the Bulls when he was 35. So really got under the wire there. But they make me feel like myself. I was poor.
Yeah. I've also never had a pair of Jordans, so I get it. Yeah, no.
But
totally.
I will tell you this. I've got a taste for it now, and I'll sell it for nothing less.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like if I'm on the island and I wake up and I put on my Panama hat and my Hawaiian shirt, my Ray-Bans and my flip-flops and my cargo shorts, there'll be a certain thing where it's like, I planned this.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to do, or else why would I have this outfit?
Yep.
You know, that's also the Panama hat, not from Panama. Anybody tell me where it's from?
Key West.
Sorry,
Ecuador.
I was gonna say Van Halen.
Oh, it's from Ecuador. Actually, it was popularized as the Panama hat by Teddy Roosevelt when he went to do some shit at the Panama Canal. Anyways, that's
interesting. Okay.
That bit of knowledge is free, boys. So
Thank
enjoy.
you so much. Question. What style of Ray-Bans will you be wearing on the island, Nathan?
Of course, obviously, from my favorite movie, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the Ferris Bueller version. Yeah.
So the Ray-Ban Club Masters or the Wayfarers?
Whichever one is accurate to the question you just asked.
Those are also two words I never heard before that episode.
Yeah.
So
really? Oh gosh. Well,
yeah, I'm living in a suburban bubble, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, the second part of this is hoping that I get rescued. And so like the helicopter will come in and they'll see me, and it won't look like, oh yeah, I was on some 3-hour tour and got stuck because I'm an amateur yacht captain and I washed up. It'll look like I planned it. It's like, oh yeah, this guy wanted this island hermit lifestyle. He's this sort of Howard Hughes crossed with Jimmy Buffett character where, and they'll reluctantly drag me away. You know, I'm not going because I'll die of starvation. I'm going to go home and be some sort of cult hero, and they'll make a movie about me of this eccentric long-haired dude who wound up on the island and built this recreational lifestyle for himself, which will entirely be false. But that glorious Panama hat, Ray-Bans, flip-flops, Hawaiian shirt, and cargo pants will help me carry off the lie into the sunset.
Who will play you, Nathan, in this movie they make about you and your stay on the island?
Oh God, I'm gonna say
Richard Kind.
Richard Kind would be good, actually. Yeah, I'm trying to think of tall actors, long. Well, I mean, we could do a realistic version and then my fantasy version. My fantasy version, Jason Momoa.
Yes,
obviously.
Fancy, yeah.
And then in the fantasy version, hold for editing. I can't think of one. Do you guys want to jump in here?
Okay, I have a question. How long was Jason Momoa on your list of items to bring to the island?
He's number 8 through 13.
Okay, good.
Thank God it's the top 5 list.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it, and I was like, I would love to bring, like my girlfriend, but I was like, oh, but she's a human, and I don't own her, so I can't just be like, you're mine, let's go to the island. But also, so in this situation, with this outfit you're doing on your island, instead of help in the sand, are you writing like, who's hungry, or like, do you want to come for a barbecue in the sand? Like, what's the message?
I'm gonna write
dogs.
Margarita O'Clock.
Is there anything? I asked Nathan a question. I'll ask Mitch a question. Is there anything you would hope to wash up ashore while you are on this desert island? Something that would make it either less lonely or something like that. Is there anything you'd be expecting to wash up, either from your wreckage or something that you could just really, really use on the island?
I mean, I would. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mitch.
I would say right away I'm thinking, because the most recent thing I was talking about was the rum and everything, and having the blender and making. I love beverages too, not just alcoholic but also like regular. I love coffee. I love water. I drink a lot. I drink a lot of water every day. So, but beverage is a big thing for me. So if a like an airliner's like beverage cart washed up with 300 little mini bottles of all these different kind of flavors going on, cans of sodas of all different flavors, juices. I think that'd be a pretty nice little treat for my setup. So
that would be, and it would probably float right over. That would be nice.
It
Nathan?
would. It'd be wonderful.
What'd you have, Nathan? What would you be expecting to float up on your island, other than an ambulance to save you?
Yeah, hold for ambulance.
And fire truck.
I live about 100 yards from a fire station, so this is the occupation.
What a stocked island. That is impressive that you have the infrastructure for that.
Yeah.
Your island is stocked with hot dudes. You win. Give them all the points. Give them all the points. People to talk to, people to climb. Okay.
All right. So the question was like something I would want to wash up ashore, right?
Yeah. What would you want?
I would think the classic message in a bottle of somebody saying like where they are, and then I would return it to them. And my return message, I would just write, "New phone, who dis?"
Oh man, that's pretty good. Number 2s, we just had. No, those number 3s from you boys.
Yep.
I am way off.
Give it. Score us up. Score us up.
That was a happy round. I'm giving 2 points to both of you. That was a great round.
Wow, thank you.
I'm not even going to debate it because I'm too happy with it. I'm too eager to get to your number 2s.
Cool.
So, Mitch, let's go with your number 2.
Okay, so my number 2 is a harmonium, which is more portable than a piano, and it sounds kind of like an accordion. It's kind of in between. And I am not I would not call myself a musician, but I love music. I sing all the time in the house. I would spend so much time on the island singing to myself, singing new songs, singing songs I hopefully remember. And I would put this, I would dunk it right where the surf comes in and be right on the water's edge. Again, this was like all these things kind of work perfectly for a great day. Beautiful rum drink, sunset, harmonium, playing some chords and singing, like, and the island breeze takes me away, or, and the sun tucks me in at night. Imagine anything you've seen on Charlie Day's Instagram account, him doing songs. That's my fantasy, just singing songs to the night skies as the salt seas take them away, and hopefully, much like a message in a bottle, hopefully people hear the reverberations on other nearby islands. And then of course you got to continuously wet your chords with a fresh pineapple daiquiri between verses. But yeah, no, just watching the sunset, the ocean, the oranges, the pinks, the yellows dancing, across the waves, and just like, that warm breeze. That's another thing that I was thinking about too. When you're sleeping here, you never have to have a blanket. It's warm. It's like, it's just always comfortable. So
that's nice. And then you get to learn the song from Napoleon Dynamite. You get to play music for a found harmonium. What's better than that?
There it is. Yes.
Beautiful.
So you get to have that to lullaby you to sleep every night. And
the other thing too is like, I'm going to have to learn how to play this, obviously just by ear or whatever.
Yes. And memory.
And memory, but also like I love that, and I'm okay with that, and there will be endless time to get better at this and to create music, create songs, to forever be creative, to use my voice, like my hands, everything. So yeah, that's my. There it is.
Can I pose a quick question? Just a rapid lightning round question, all three of us.
Sure.
Your all-time great sunset song to listen to while watching the sunset on a beach.
Ooh,
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Led Zeppelin, obviously, Down by the Seaside.
Mine is Rumble by Link Ray.
Oh, nice.
See, my brain immediately went to my favorite song, and it would be a depressing song for a sunset, which is Ooh La La by The Faces.
Oh, that's a great answer.
That's incredible.
It's my favorite song, but I don't know if I want that to end my day. But it's a great.
Also, can we name who sang lead vocals on that song one time for the people at home?
Mr. Ronnie Wood.
Ronnie Wood. I was gonna say Rod Stewart, but it's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rod Stewart was lead singer of The Faces, but your boy Ronnie Wood of the Rolling Stones sang lead on that song.
Hell yeah! One of the greatest songs of all time goes to Mr. Ronnie Wood. What the hell are we at? I need to get your number 2, Nathan.
That was my number 2, Brian.
Sorry.
Where the hell are we at?
brain exploded. I started falling down an ooh la la loophole.
That's so island, because I would imagine if I ever met anyone on the island, that might be the first thing I hear them say is, "Where the hell are we at?" And then Ryan comes crashing through the forest. You're like
the fucking Kool-Aid man.
That's the first line of the pilot episode of the series. Of you living on the island.
Where the hell are we?
and then I say like Daiquiri Town. And you're like, great, yeah, woo, and you're in.
Fill me up.
Yeah.
All right, Nathan, you're number 2.
All right. Well, Mitch already pointed out that it would be a pretty dark and disturbing idea to bring a human being, free, without their free will, their own volition, onto the island, and that would probably be a pretty irresponsible and borderline inhumane route to take with this. So for my number 2, I did choose to take a certain person. So it's gonna be some lonely nights there around the campfire. A sunset's only as enjoyable as the company you keep while you're looking at it.
Did you find one of those high level Japanese dolls that sell for in the 5 figures?
This is a living, breathing legend. I need a raconteur. I need a master of lore. I need someone to entertain me on those long, pensive evenings.
I'm so pissed off.
I'm going to sit around the fire that I've built out of the palm trees and lobster shells and gumption. And I'm going to drink my recycled urine Pinot Grigio and listen to this man tell his stories. I'm, of course, talking about 1980s and 90s sitcom legend Mark Lynn Baker. So
wow,
you know him as the guy who played Larry Appleton in Perfect Strangers, in which for those of you who don't know, he was a guy who had to live in an apartment with a relative who was are you ready for this? The relative was from a foreign country. Can you imagine? How hilarious is that? Like an American interacting with a person who's not an American. Oh my God. And yeah, they got 8 seasons of material out of that. So
Wait.
unbelievable.
Wait. The person's not just from Nebraska. They're from another country.
They were from outside the borders of the contiguous 48 states.
Who let them in?
So Canadian. They were Canadian.
He was from Eastern Europe.
Oh,
I believe a fictional Eastern European country.
I've heard that. I've heard the country of Eastern Europe is beautiful during the fall. I've heard.
Isn't it Peter O'Toole?
He was in a movie with Peter O'Toole. Yes, which Peter O'Toole plays like a drunken former big star of enormous Hollywood productions who just can't get his life together because he's constantly drinking and living in the past. I don't know if it was a documentary or not, but the trailer looked worthwhile. But so also Mark Lynn Baker, his Wikipedia page shows him a picture of him at the 1987 Emmy Awards buffet. Not the awards, but the buffet. So think of the great stories he could tell me. He could tell me how great the shrimp cocktail was, and that's gonna be huge because I'm allergic to shellfish. And I'm going to be catching all sorts of shellfish. Shellfish are just going to be rolling all over me on this island, but I'm not going to be able to eat all of them. But I've got Mark Lynn Baker here, who's had 1987 Emmys shellfish, and he can just describe it in detail, so I won't feel like I'm missing out at all. And also, he's going to be able to tell me stories about when he was a guest star on Full House, where
much cocaine.
He played Uncle Jesse's brother-in-law, and his catchphrase in that episode was "small joke." And I didn't do any research on this. I'm literally saying this from memory from 25 years ago. But it was like he would say something really insulting and then make the little pinch gesture with his finger and say "small joke," and then eventually at the end, Uncle Jesse turned the tables on him and had a big zinger, and he said "small joke," and then the crowd went wild.
Man.
But then he also did a guest spot on Family Matters. This man was
classic.
the king of TGIF. But when he did a guest spot on Family Matters, he played the boss of Harriet Winslow. And Family Matters actually started as a spin-off of Perfect Strangers. So this man played not one, but 2 characters in the Family Matters universe, the greatest show ever set in Chicago. So I can't think of anyone I would rather spend an eternity on a desert island with than Mark Lynn Baker.
Wow. Also, the only person to spell Lynn with one I and two N's.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it's pretty interesting.
Interesting. Is that hyphenated, Mark Lynn?
Lynn
Lynn
Baker.
Lynn Baker is hyphenated.
Oh, Lynn Baker. That's what it is. Oh, okay.
Also, he has that wonderful. He had
Or
that
he had
wonderful in
some-
the '80s. The like the permed mullet hair. That was like people saw him with this permed mullet and they said, "We got to get this fucking guy on TV right now. That's got to happen."
That was, I mean, if the photos I've seen of Santa Monica Pier from the 80s, people rollerblading in like neon green shorts and perm mullets. It's incredible. It's incredible. The amount of confidence you had to have to pull that off. Just, you know, that hair. It's
The
beautiful.
hair.
It's
the
beautiful.
80s.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
All right. It is score time here for round 2. Mitchell.
Oh my gosh, so serious.
it's
Referee.
been-
Boy.
It has
Ref
been
man.
my dream
Yes.
for you to learn an instrument so we can finally start a band.
Oh my God. Oh, I would love to. Ooh.
So with Nathan on lead guitar, I will take on rhythm for you to play the harmonium and hopefully some background vocals for us. I'm giving you 3 points because my dream has been fulfilled.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
Nathan, I was gonna give you 2 points, but then I decided that there's nothing worse than I would rather have than somebody saying sitcom catchphrases in my ear for all of eternity. So I can only give you 1 point for Mark Lynn Baker.
If I get Nathan,
Mark, if you're listening at home, I'm sorry.
Small joke. Forever. Forever. Every time when you wake up, oh man, the fire went out. Small joke. I put some crab meat in your morning food. Small joke. I don't think that would work so too well after a couple of months stuck with Mark Lynn Baker. Oh man,
you're a selfish, awful friend. Small joke.
Since you got the short end of the stick on that one, Nathan, why don't you give us your number 1?
Okay. Number 1, I'm going with, this is something I actually own. This is my comically oversized golf umbrella. So
Wow.
I've seen this thing.
Wow. I am wrapping this up. This is going to be mine again. I'm winning this. Oh, I'm winning this. Oh, I love it when I get this kind of confidence going into my number 1. Sorry, keep going.
So some years ago, I wanted to go on a hike. And I was heading off to where the hike was going to take place. And then
this is so specific. I love this. This is great.
The rain clouds started forming, and I realized I had left my umbrella at home. Terrible planning, awful. So there was I think it was a Target that was nearby, and so I pulled off into the parking lot, and I ran in, and I was like, "Where's your umbrellas?" And they were like, they pointed generally in the direction of the umbrellas. So I sprinted over, I grabbed the first umbrella I saw, and then I bought it, went over the trails, got out, took out the umbrella, and then started raining. So I opened it, and I have never been more surprised by the sheer size of anything in my entire life. And if we had been recording this 7 or 8 years ago, this is when I would have made the joke, and now I know what women feel like when they go on dates with me. But I'm much more mature now, so I'm not going to make that joke. That is not something I'm going to say.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
But anyway, this umbrella I have is unbelievably outsized. Like I can't carry it around the streets in Chicago. One time I literally had it with me on a rainy day in Chicago, walking down Irving Park Road, and like some rain had come up pretty suddenly, and I had 4 people who I'd never met before, just strangers on the road. They just like saw me and just kind of joined me underneath the umbrella and walked with me to the train station. Like none of them asked permission. Just one of them like came up and was like, just gave me this look like, is this okay? And I was like, well, I guess. And then just another and another until I was literally carrying a small herd of human beings under this umbrella. So anyways, I digress. So I'm bringing this, like, I know we've stayed away from practical applications, but Mitch and I both are of the, well, we're 2 of the whitest people who've ever lived. So I get the bonus here of, like, we could take a 55-gallon oil drum full of sunscreen, and that would not be enough for 2 weeks. So at least I've got this. At least I've got this umbrella with me. I mean, like, I remember I was on a vacation with some friends some years ago, and we were out in a boat, and everybody freaked out at one point when I took my shirt off and they saw my back and how red it was, and they were just in horror. And I was just like, yeah, this is what happens every time I go outside, guys. But what I'm really want this magic umbrella for, this takes me back to something I saw when I was a kid, when I watched Sesame Street, and there was a clip with Elmo.
Mary Poppins.
Get your mind out of the gutter there, Mitch. This is going on a wholesome route. This is a wholesome section of the show.
I thought you were going to say Mary Poppins. I feel like that's the umbrella reference. Okay, sorry.
Right.
My bad.
No, so I saw this when I was literally like 4 or 5 years old. It was on Sesame Street. It was Elmo, and Robin Williams was the guest. And
did he steal? Did he steal all of Elmo's jokes? Sorry, sorry. Keep going.
So Robin Williams was on the show, and he comes up to Elmo, and he's just carrying a stick, and Elmo asks him, like, what are you doing? He's like, well, here's all the different things that you can imagine that this is, and it was a very sweet thing.
Elmo, there's lots of things you can do with this stick. You can start off, you can be playing baseball in the World Series. Hit it over the fence and realize, I'm the one. Or maybe you can be playing hockey. Shoot at the goal. Be the goalie. Oh, I saved it. Oh, maybe you can also be playing basketball with Manute Bol. Yeah, and you dribble past it and score. Yes! Or you can be at the Olympics throwing the javelin.
It always stuck with me. And then years later, when Robin Williams died, I hadn't seen it then, but I looked on YouTube and I found it. So yeah, the thing is, I'll have this umbrella, and it's going to be my lightsaber when I'm fighting against Sith Lords. It's going to be my scythe as I cut through the brush. It's going to be my Beretta 92F when I'm Bruce Willis in Die Hard. It's going to be my microphone when I'm Mick Jagger, and it's going to be my staff when I'm Gandalf, and it's going to be my pointer at the chalkboard when I'm a lecturer at Harvard discussing the ontological differences between Soren Kierkegaard and Friedrich Nietzsche. This will be my best friend. And I mean, obviously, eventually it's going to devolve into where it's going to in some form be a sexual partner. I don't know how that's going to happen, but we all know it's going to lead there eventually. But all I need is my gigantically oversized comical golf umbrella. And in that one item, I will have everything that I ever dreamed of. And I need nothing else. And that's why it's my number one.
Wow.
See, I like that sweet approach, because you're definitely going to need something to keep away the mental demons of being alone on an island and not being able to talk to anybody or do anything. So taking this small piece from your childhood and making it reappear again, I think I agree. It is a very wholesome answer, and I like it.
Yes, the wholesome answer of me probably fucking an umbrella.
I was like, what do you mean a wholesome answer? What are you talking about?
It was until we got there. And I know Mitch was going to ruin it anyway, so let's move on to his number one so we can see.
What do you mean ruin it? And what? You're like that was very wholesome, and I agree. Fuck all your umbrellas when it comes to
was that who was that an impression of? Was that Walter Cronkite?
I don't know. Sure. Yes. Okay.
I was looking over the fucking a stick part, but let's move on to.
Guys, also, we're on a beach, so you just make a little hole, put a little sand in there.
You're going to wake up one day and accidentally, you're going to wake up and accidentally fuck your NutriBullet, and then who's going to be laughing now?
No, I won't. No. I mean, who knows? But yeah, okay, number one, here we go. This one, this I learned something about, actually, and you guys are going to learn a little something too. So it's a little sciencey off the top, but then I'm going to explain why this is going to be so incredible. So my number one item is the perfect bat, okay? And I learned that through this process, you can create wood that is far stronger than its normal state. So you boil wood in a solution of sodium hydroxide and sodium sulfite It's a chemical treatment similar to the first step in creating wood pulp used to make paper. It partially removes lignin and hemicellulose, but it largely leaves the wood cellulose intact. So the second step is you compress the treated wood until its cell walls collapse, then maintaining that compression as it's gently heated. Then the pressure and heat encourage the formation of chemical bonds between large numbers of hydrogen atoms, yada, 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 resulting in incredibly strong wood that can stop bullets, is basically indestructible, does not get scratched, and is also water resistant. And through this process, you can kind of shape it into any shape you want as well. So I would make the perfect baseball bat. It'd be a little wider on top than normal, but the reason why I would love having this is being on the beach. One of my favorite things, also this is going to get gushy, of course. Number one, you gotta go for the heartstrings. Here it comes. Okay, number one, as a child, throughout my entire childhood, into my adulthood, whenever I'm on a beach, I'm always looking for rocks. Like incredible skippers, round, smooth rocks. You can watch them go, hopefully like 15 times across the water. Those little splashes as it goes. I'm going to be skipping a lot of rocks, okay? I'm going to be picking up a lot of rocks as well. I'm going to be like telling myself, I'm going to hit the coconut on that tree to the left there. I'm going to be doing a lot of aiming practice like that. I'm going to be throwing rocks at birds. I'm going to be throwing rocks at things going through the wind, you know. But part of this too is having a bat and throwing rocks up in the air and hitting them with a bat cleanly and out into the ocean. There is probably going to be no better feeling. And just doing that over and over and over and over again. And this is the one thing that when I was going over this list, mentioning this to my girlfriend, she mentioned that if you ever do get off that island, which I'm not planning on, but if I ever do, then I might be able to go and sign a baseball contract and become a baseball player when I get back. So this is my one thing. We're like, okay, when I get
You're
back,
getting on everyone's. You're on your high horse this whole time.
yeah.
Leading up to your number one, you sneaky man.
Yeah, all I wanted to do was play guitar at a party and quote Shakespeare, but Mitch has his eyes on a $200 million MLB career.
Hey, you know what? When you spend 12 years, you know, your prime years of 30 to 42 hitting rocks with a bat and knocking fish out of the water and birds out of the sky with rocks, your arm's probably going to be good to go to play shortstop for the Minnesota Twins. You know, we haven't been that good. Put me in, coach. But then also this bat, because it's water resistant, so I can go in the water with it. It's not going to warp. It's not going to fade. It's not going to, I know, again, this sounds like an infomercial. That's not what this is. Also, I can go through the jungle with it. I can get brush out of the way. I can knock fruit out of trees. Again, delicious little piggies. They're running by. Boom, bop on the head. Bring them home to roast up. That's a great meal. But really what it is though, just that satisfying. Wait, hold on. I can't do this.
I'm hitting the pigs in the head.
No. Of just.
I got you.
Solidly hitting a pig across the throat.
Oh, these goddamn island pigs.
Oh, they are plump, they're slow, and their legs are so short they can't run at all. But just hitting rocks as far as the eye can see. And then also, for one of my friend's bachelor parties, my friend Morgan, from a guy I've known since I was single digits, for part of his bachelor party, we got a bunch of fruit, and we had some machetes and some bats and some tennis rackets, and we just hit fruit, like we just pitched it to each other and we just crushed it.
Real life Fruit Ninja.
Yeah, Fruit Ninja, and actually talented Gallagher, however you want to see it. That is very, very fun, and I don't think I would get tired of that. So yeah, I have the perfect bat, and then also, I was thinking about this for a long time, and what to name the bat, because obviously you want to name the bat. And currently right now, I play every now and again with a group of guys. We play baseball at Portage Park here in Chicago, and I got a bat and I named it Meal Ticket, and I burned it in because, you know, it's my ticket to the show. It's because I can hit whatever. But I think on this island, I would want to name it after my very first baseball hero, and that's Kirby Puckett. So the bat's name is Puckett. And unlike Nathan, I'm not going to fuck it. So thank you very much. That's my number 1.
Well, that's what you say after 3 years. Wait till you're 12.
I see. So you go through this entire process of what to do to this wood, and you were explaining that I need to make the wood stronger, and I need to do this and all this. I'm like, by this point, before you got to the actual baseball part, I'm like, why not just have a machete?
No. Because
but
machete.
now I know.
Yes.
I know.
Okay,
now I know.
Okay.
But I was just like, you're like this. I'm like, all right, you can kill things with a machete. You can cut brush with a machete. It's already hard. You don't have to go through this process, but you can't get back to childhood. And you can't do that. Not a lot of childhoods have machetes.
That's true.
There are some.
Yeah.
There are some, unfortunately, in this horrible world that we live in. But other than Nathan trying to find a way to fuck an umbrella, those were both very nice, genuine answers. You were both getting 3 points for your number 1.
Wow. What a list. What a list. What an episode. What a list.
What an episode. So nobody said the names on the 3 Post-its of mystery.
Can I make a guess at what one of them was?
Yes.
I think you had written down this name, Tom Hanks.
1 Post-it of mystery,
Yep.
Tom Hanks.
Is another one Gilligan or something of that nation? Okay. Oh, interesting.
Because this is desert island items for a comfortable castaway, I also had Wilson and FedEx. I was trying to bait you with things washing up ashore. Nobody fell for it. You guys are both
I'm so sorry.
wise men. All right. It wouldn't have made a difference anyway, because that means that Mitchell, you have won by 1 point.
Yeah! What did I say? What did I say before I went into my number 1? I was like, I love it when I get that kind of confidence, the wind in my sails. Sorry.
You got the damn wind into your sails. You're 3 sheets to the wind after sucking down your NutriBullets. We know exactly where you are. 12-11. Mitch wins by 1 point, which means we are down to the final part of the show where I get to give you my fast 5 failed Taco Bell menu items. Ooh. Number 5, the chalupa chonga. Your typical shredded chicken chalupa, which already has a fried pita-like tortilla shell, is lathered in lard, flour, eggs, and of course, Doritos Locos taco shell breadcrumbs before it heads to the fryer for another deep fry. Served in a nacho trough, the chalupa chonga was finished off with ground beef coating from the nearest meat hose. It was removed from the menu when breathing in its scent caused heart attacks.
Oh my God. That sounds, I would eat that. I would absolutely do it.
Me too.
That sounds like a Minnesota State Fair delicacy. Absolutely.
All right. The number 4, the Alexander Graham Nachos Bel Grande. This failed menu item stemmed from a partnership with Warner Brothers, a 1993 marketing campaign for the Sylvester Stallone, Sandra Bullock, Wesley Snipes vehicle Demolition Man. Of course, as we all know, the plot reveals Taco Bell is the winner of the franchise war, standing as the last remaining restaurant chain in 2032. Meant to symbolize the past with the fictional future, the Alexander Graham Nachos Bel Grande was to be history trivia wrapped in film marketing, but was removed from circulation when racist protests rang out in the streets of Americans refusing to learn history from Mexican food. Oh, how far we've come. Number 3, the beefy 23-layer burrito. Chicago Bulls, second three-peat. Michael's back, and so is the beefy 23-layer burrito. With a diameter of 11.5 inches, this girthy monstrosity could barely be held, let alone eaten. You would think its size led to its downfall, but no. Patrons got bored when the ingredients just started repeating themselves after the 10th layer. Number 2, the spicy grilled cheese vegetarian black bean quesarito gordita roll-up supreme. I have no joke. It failed because it's vegetarian. And number 1, the triple brunch wrap supreme.
Ooh.
We start with tortillas milled in an aftermarket Little Caesars dough press, giving us enough surface area to pack in the brunch essentials. An everything bagel with cream cheese, bacon, avocado toast, biscuits and gravy, a blintz, bacon, cinnamon toast crunch, a strawberry Nutella crepe, eggs, bacon, Canadian bacon, ham off the bone, a raspberry scone, a blueberry muffin, bacon, pancakes, bacon, hash browns, bacon, and a single drop of salsa. All of this with bottomless Mountain Dew Baja Blast mimosas. And although this menu item failed, the mimosas were the foundation for the modern Taco Bell cantina.
Oh.
So there they are, the top 5 failed Taco Bell menu items. But hey, that's this week's edition of Uber Cinco.
Wow.
And with perfectly coiffed ginger hair near the fanless stands of Wrigley Field has been
Mitch Brinkman.
And with flowing locks that would make Christ swoon has been
Nathan Hennenfent.
And I have been Brian Ernst. And as Biz Bear always says, leave the gun, take the honey. Auf Wiedersehen and adios. You've just listened to Uber Cinco, a production of UBK Studios. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your fine podcasts from.
If you like what you hear and want to support the show, please visit our Patreon site at patreon.com/UBK Studios. Every little bit helps us keep the lights on and the bill collectors at bay.
Keep tabs on us on all the social media at UBK Studios, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see that we really are just a bunch of good Midwestern boys.
Most of all, the best thing I could do with this stick is give it to you.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
You got it, Elmo.
Now what is Elmo going to do with this stick?